Okay, good.
Coming to you from the NBC Tower in downtown Chicago. Breaking news coming out of Saudi Arabia at WWE Super Showdown. We have a new Universal Champion. The Undertaker is back. Does this mean we're in a fast lane to WrestleMania or Elimination Chamber? We'll get into all of it on this live big post show. What did you think of Super Showdown? Get your comments on screen. Oh man, Goldberg.
Yeah, can we say that like Big E? Can we just get a little Goldberg?
What's up, everybody? It's Kevin Kellum with you once again. Follow me on the Twitter at Kev Kellum. You can follow Robert DeFelice in Tampa, Florida, where the home of WrestleMania is going to be, and I think maybe a handful of WrestleMania matches were made today. You can follow him at Dude Felice. Woo! We got a lot to talk about today. Some good, maybe some stuff you didn't like, but certainly a noteworthy show, a very eventful show coming out of Saudi Arabia, Robert. Let's get into it, man. We have a new WWE Universal Champion. Goldberg in the main event makes quick work of the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. He defeats him after, I believe, about 5 spears and 1 big jackhammer, and the lights go out and the Fiend disappears. But and they made it very clear that coming out of this match, it looks like we're going to get Goldberg on SmackDown tomorrow. John Cena will also be on SmackDown tomorrow. So what did you think of this? This is certainly a shocking turn, though a lot of people thought it was possible. It has happened. Goldberg is the new WWE Universal Champion.
Well, Kevin, 3 weeks ago, this was not even in anybody's mind in any way, not even a fantasy booking sense. We're going to get into a disagreement about this. I can already feel it. They killed the Fiend.
They killed the Fiend?
They killed the Fiend, murdered him dead. Not as bad as Ricochet. Ricochet needs to go back to NXT maybe and build up his credibility again. But, like, if Goldberg, the already retired, already in the Hall of Fame, 50-plus-year-old guy, can destroy the Fiend, then why wouldn't, Roman Reigns be able to do it?
Well, let's see what fans are thinking. This is the most interactive podcast. We always leverage that towards what we have going on in all of the world. So if you're listening to this on a podcast form later on, join us for these live streams where we do them on Facebook, and we're going to start doing more on YouTube here. Let's go right into it. Scott George saying, hi, how are you? If you're with us for the first time, don't forget to jump on screen and give us a comment. Tell us where you're watching from, too. Chris Bruce saying, I've never been so furious at this company ever. This company. He has to run the company.
They broke me in 2016 with Lesnar and Goldberg, so I'm not that mad because I've been more mad. But, guys, what you're missing here, you're missing the point. The WCW power plant is the greatest training facility of all time because Goldberg can just do things fearlessly because of his training from the power plant.
He's a Titan. Did you hear them call him a Titan? I thought that was actually a pretty cool title to call anyone.
I mean, goodness gracious, great balls of fire. What are we doing?
Don't bring that up again. Let's turn it into a pay-per-view again. Kevin Anderson, one of the dumbest matches I have ever seen.
Which one? There was a handful of them tonight.
Oh, man, you're going in on this here. So, yeah, let's see what more people are saying. Herman Takar saying, what about a rematch? Are we going to get a rematch already on this? Is this going to happen? Thomas Hood saying, goodbye, WWE. Goodbye.
I mean, now the question becomes, what's more money? Roman Reigns and Goldberg or John Cena and Goldberg?
Matt Gitch saying 4 spears and a lousy jackhammer win, but Rollins couldn't win with 7 stomps. WTF? I don't get it.
You know what though? I mean, there's some really just strong words there because Rollins hit him with like 14 curb stomps, couldn't get it done. Old man Bill with that WCW power plant training, spear, and gets it done.
Mike Lynch saying, "New that sucks, SUX." It's our favorite way to say sucks, Robert. You know.
Oh man, Mike Lynch came out from Lids.
Robert, when you and I go to our local mall, first we go to the Hot Topic, then we go to the food court. What's next to the food court? It's our favorite shop for bros. What's that shop?
That's Lids, man. Yeah, it's
Lids, dude. That's where you get your custom fitted caps. And I gotta get my You Suck shirt. All right. I gotta get my You Suck shirt. It's my brand. It's my new brand coming out. It's my new street brand.
Listen, this show.
A lot of people seem upset coming out of this watching our show. Who do you think is happy about this?
Casuals. People who aren't watching this show, but will watch WrestleMania, maybe.
Wow! Oh, wow! You know, that just seems to make a lot of sense, though, Robert. That they would want to do something. They would make maybe somebody who hasn't watched WWE in a while to watch it at the biggest show of the year. I'm sorry, I'm just a jerk. I brought up this thing called logic. You know what I mean?
53 years old, though, Kev. Like, I do not want to sleep on this. Man is 53 years old.
Someone's agreeing with you. Michael David Dean saying Oldberg.
Like
Goldberg, more like Oldberg.
I'm not listen, Goldberg, I think, is one of the most captivating characters in the history of the industry. But, like, guys, you have to eventually think, well, darn it, we got to eventually get to Extreme Rules or Stomping Grounds. You can't just go, yeah, but we'll get them back later. We'll get their hopes up in June. Like, what about the current stars now? John Cena's not going to be at Stomping Grounds. Goldberg's not going to be at Stomping Grounds. You know, like, what are we doing?
All right. Well, he is the guy now. And here's the thing. It's like, I don't think anyone can deny you. We brought it up, though. You brought it. Casuals are going to be in this. I don't think you can deny the attention this is going to get. You know, if I look over at Twitter right now, what do you think is going to be trending pretty highly right now?
Goldberg.
Or
as Biggie says it, Goldberg.
Number 2 in the world, WWE SSD. Number 4 in the world right now is Goldberg. Okay, so that's a pretty strong thing to do in the middle of the day with everything else going on in the news. Trending number 7 is The Fiend. So you know, this is a lot of people talking about this already. And other people in the industry commenting about Bully Ray over on Sirius XM. Of course, you know him from the Dudleys, WWE Hall of Famer. He says, if you're shocked or angry by Goldberg becoming the Universal Champion, you just don't get it. It's WrestleMania season, kiddies. This
all right, this is a show. The show that you and I are talking on is a show geared towards people who want a little bit more than, okay, it's WrestleMania season, the casuals. Let's really talk about this. At what point do we stop going, yeah, but the people who don't care about our product might be interested in this for 2 weeks? Like, when do you start saying, you know what, though? I want those fans in July. I want those fans in August. I want those fans in September. Instead of just saying, hey, guys, you know the deal. WrestleMania season's cool, and then we go back to sucking.
Here's why I say that's a moot point. You know, it's a moot point, and here's why. The hardcore fans, they expect to be there, you know? And for those fans, if you're really, really upset, they have a show for you. It's called NXT. They have another show for you. It's called NXT UK. They have a third show after that. It's called 205 Live. They have every other show that you've ever loved before that you can watch on demand. And I'm not saying, here's the thing. I haven't even given my opinion about the show yet. I've just told you the logic of it. I've just broken down what people are saying. Here's the thing. I agree with you. It was an underwhelming show. I expected more from this overall. and I felt a little bit shortchanged. It felt like no match really got past a certain point. I was talking to you during the show. Am I wrong? Did it feel like the crowd was like into the show? I'll give this. They're really boisterous fans, but it felt like the sound went out. It's an open air show. Sometimes you do those open air shows and you don't get like a full feel for what's going on with the crowd here. If you're joining us for the first time, this is WrestleZone Daily. We do live post shows for different WWE events. Usually we air late in the afternoon, but Super Showdown ended, we thought, about maybe 20 minutes early, so we wanted to jump in here. Join in the chat below. Tell us where you're watching the show from. And don't forget to subscribe to the WrestleZone Radio podcast. You can watch the whole thing and listen to it on demand anywhere in the world. And also check out everything we're doing at WrestleZone.com. Plus, we have these shows on YouTube now. So if you're watching on YouTube, tell us what you liked about Super Showdown. I think tell me what you liked about it first before you tell me what you didn't like. I think that's maybe in this case that might be a harder thing to do for some fans. Let's talk about the whole show in general. We do have to talk about how this could have some ramifications on WrestleMania, and it certainly does. This changes the title picture for half the show. But let's run down the other big matches on the show. We had Brock Lesnar taking on Ricochet for the WWE Championship. I didn't think Monday Night Raw really ramped this one up. They did have a promo in ring from Brock Lesnar, but it felt like it was more of a promo for Brock Lesnar going into the WrestleMania season with Drew McIntyre than it was for this match against Ricochet, and I kind of felt that way coming out of it.
Yeah, this was the drizzling S word. Like I don't. I'm mad about Goldberg, but at least I can argue Goldberg's a captivating character. Bray Wyatt wasn't clicking. Here, they gave a title shot to a man with the premise of, ha ha ha, he has no chance. Mm-hmm. We're skipping over him and we're already thinking about Drew McIntyre. And then you get in the ring and the bell rings and you prove that he had no business in the ring with Brock Lesnar. Swatted away a dropkick and got pounded on for 2 minutes before one F5 does the deed. Brock Lesnar moves on. You and I tend to disagree about what a burial is, and I'll agree with you. I think the term is far overused in today's wrestling world.
I think it's so overused that people don't know what it really means.
So I would argue, though, that this is a good example of a high caliber main event, if you want to call it that, level burial. This was Ricochet. I do not want to see him near the belt picture anymore. This was proof positive that no, you cannot do it.
Yeah, I didn't take anything from this match. It felt like they could do something. You know, they could give you something here that didn't feel like this. You know, and I also thought they've done better matches with Brock and smaller guys. I had some expectations for this. I enjoyed the match they did with Brock and Finn Balor about a year or two ago at Royal Rumble. I thought that was a particularly fun match. The match he had with Daniel Bryan. So I thought, like, hey, if they get time, they can do something here. Clearly, they didn't have time. You know, clearly there wasn't a sense of, hey, we need to make this work. What do you guys think of Brock Lesnar going into WrestleMania? Sound off with us here live in the chat below. A lot of people joining us for the first time, like all these new names. It's pretty cool. A lot of people chiming in from Alabama and California. No matter where you are, shout where you are. Tell us where you're watching the show from.
I just think I really feel like this was another example of the modern guys don't matter. And the thing is, I don't like saying that. I'm not one of those people who likes to go online and troll about how, the modern guys don't matter.
I won't buy that because modern guys were in the main events of these shows. You know?
And they got...
Hang on. The guys who win, I think, are everything that people kind of focus on coming out of a show. But think about who got positioned to be in those spots. You know, it's not like they went with Goldberg versus, Brock again. They went with Goldberg versus a new star.
No, but they showed no sign. Wyatt a little more than Ricochet, but neither one put up any real fight. This was a point to say these guys aren't the real stars. So it's WrestleMania season and we need real stars. The guy's got creamed. You cannot sit here and say, I'm going to disagree with that because Ricochet looks like a star. Does Ricochet look like a star coming out of this, or does Ricochet look like...
but I'm saying they were positioned in those spots. That the fact that they got to be on the card in that way, I'm talking about the go-in logic. The come-out logic makes me go like, what does this do for Ricochet? Like, you're going to have to rebuild him now. Like, he went up real high, you got a series of wins, and you blew him out in like 90 seconds. So I don't deny that. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying I'm breaking down the thought process behind it.
I get the thought process, and I would love to see it fulfilled. Like if they had a competitive match, like Finn Balor, for example, you could make the argument he took Lesnar to the limit. He almost had him there. Not Ricochet.
It's odd because a lot of the matches were shorter than I thought they would be. You know, I don't think that this show was it near 4 hours? It was near 4 hours, right?
Just about.
But I did feel a bit shorter, and that match made me feel that the most, and the main event as well. Other big points here: the Undertaker returned. They opened with the two-week gauntlet match. There were some issues in this match. R-Truth got to be the anchoring force of this match to get it to the end. He survived Andrade. He survived several other superstars, including Bobby Lashley. Lana walked Bobby Lashley out. She was had to, the culture in Saudi Arabia is different, and it is something that always comes up during these shows. She had to wear a gold lame robe. If you're going to have to adapt, she adapted with as much glitter and glam as she could.
Now, I think that was a personal choice because she did not wear that when she walked to the ring at Crown Jewel in October.
No, I think
that might have been a personal choice.
Yeah, so definitely there. Ronnie Jones referencing this, though, because the big ending was AJ Styles came out. AJ Styles was like breakdancing while beating up R-Truth, which I found very, very humorous.
I thought that was great.
I thought that was like a nice little like, hey, Truth, I'm your buddy. I want to dance while I'm trying to beat you up. But there was something with R-Truth in this match. I think he got cut in the match, and the ref had to keep going to him to keep an eye on that cut. That's the new modern thing in WWE. You saw the ref with the gloves on. I really think that kind of hindered the match leading up to AJ getting in there.
I thought it was interesting that they chose R-Truth as an anchor point. He was very over, so can't really complain there. He was super over. But it did its job, and I think the job it did was go Undertaker will now look to face AJ Styles at WrestleMania.
Yeah, and guess who reported that? What website broke that story, Robert? Well, I believe it was a website that you and I are familiar with called WrestleZone.com.
That's right, we broke that. Shout out to Bill Pritchard.
Shout it out. We got the exclusive on that a few weeks ago.
Great stuff.
And hey, we told you Edge was going to be at the Royal Rumble. Edge was at the Royal Rumble. We told you we were going to get AJ Styles versus Undertaker. You're getting AJ Styles.
I mean, we're 2 for 2. I mean, WrestleZone is on a hot streak here.
What are we going to have next? I can tell you, I've heard some things, and the next one, pretty good.
I've also heard some things.
Yes, you've also heard some things. But let's talk about this. AJ Styles, Undertaker, they went to Rey Mysterio's music. They do the thing where they play the music. He doesn't come out. So I'm like, this is where the Undertaker comes out. Everything about it was predictable, but fun predictable to me. Because then they cut to the back. It's the OC, Styles Goons beating up Rey Mysterio. Who's to know they even filmed this in Saudi Arabia? This could have filmed in the United States. And then you come back to the ring, and now the Undertaker's coming out. Because he's taking Ray's spot. So an odd thing there to do that with an international show and do it almost all of that backstage, not do it on the stage in general. So it makes you think if even Ray had to make the trip here to get to Saudi Arabia.
I don't think he did.
Or if Undertaker didn't even film that beforehand. Maybe they had somebody else wear the...
That wasn't Undertaker. How do you know that was Undertaker?
How do we even know? How do we even know that was the Undertaker here?
That was a guy shot from the feet, like from his ankles down, and he happened to be wearing a black trench coat.
A lot of people tuning in here for the first time. Thank you guys, all these great new viewers here. I'm trying to get you guys, as many of you on screen as I can here. But the Undertaker comes out and lays out AJ Styles with a single choke slam. Doesn't even take off his hat.
This was amazing.
You can keep your hat on.
What a flex. I mean, let's talk. What a flex on the part of the Phenom. Didn't even take off his hat. You ain't even got to take off your hat to make that good Saudi money. Like, this dude said, choke slam. I'm just going to kneel and put your arms over you now. 1, 2, 3. Like, what a guy that Undertaker is.
Yeah, it was definitely something interesting. Here's the thing. What did you think of the short work of it? Because Undertaker came out. It was not a long segment. It was really more of an angle than anything to set up him and AJ Styles. He did not take the trophy they had that Bill Pritchard at WrestleZone.com has been calling the aggro crag. If you're a fan of 90s Nickelodeon, you can look up Guts. Guts was like American Ninja Warrior if it was just kids running through obstacle courses in the 90s. And they had the aggro crag. You would climb up this like fake mountain inside of a TV stage room, and you got the aggro crag at the end. It was a big
well, piece of Undertaker looked at it. He looked at it. He absorbed its essence into his soul.
Yes, he did.
And he walked away.
Now he has all of its power. He has all of its power within him.
You're going to see at WrestleMania, he's going to just like... It's going to be like some WrestleMania the arcade game thing where he's going to just open up his hand and a mountain is going to come out. It's going to be amazing. Amazing time.
Patrick J. Wilson, of course, making the common reoccurring joke of Undertaker.
Go ahead.
Entrances. He said Taker made it to the ring and it's still 2020. Wow. Yeah. Well, Taker did make...
entrance was better than the whole show, pal. I'd pay good money for Taker's entrance.
Wow. You're going for it here, man. Yeah, you're definitely going for it here. I think Undertaker and AJ Styles can be cool. This is an interesting way to start the feud because you had them be physical right away. There was, AJ Styles had dropped the Undertaker's name a few weeks ago, and then they added a whole other element, said he can beat anyone from any era. And so the logic plays in here. I actually didn't mind it. It was short. It didn't give away too much. It was just enough physicality for me to believe that they should have a match against one another. Let's see what the fans think. What did you think?
I thought it was fine. I actually prefer that there was no tombstone. I wish he didn't pin him. I wish they would just had him like run off, and then you do WrestleMania. Because now it's like, well, he beat him with one choke slam. Does he really need to have a match with him? Somebody's going to say that. I won't because I like AJ Styles. But somebody's going to say that.
Angel Rosario Jr. saying, Undertaker didn't even take off his coat. Both his hat and his coat were on. He remained fully clothed. That's why he's the GOAT. People feeling that as well. And other people chiming in. Mike Lynch saying AJ can make Taker look like a prime Taker. So this is the match I think most people are excited about. So other big matches on the show included Angel Garza versus Humberto Carrillo.
Angel Garza, I'm gonna say it every mother effing time. This dude's got more charisma in his pinky than Humberto Carrillo has in his whole body. He's amazing in the ring. I think he's gonna be so big when he gets the chance to break out. Something I liked on the show: Miz and Morrison, tag team champions. The crowd was really into the stupid thing that they just started a week ago with the Miz and Morrison. Hey, ho, ho. The crowd was doing it. Like, they were into it. You know who they were not into, which I thought was weird, was Mansoor. They weren't going crazy for their boy.
You know what? This is something they've featured on. How many Saudi Arabia shows are we now?
This is third.
This is the third one?
This is Mansoor's third. This is their fifth.
This is their fifth show. So he's been featured on 3 of the 5, and he always gets a featured singles match. He is the Middle Eastern star that they want to develop, right? And good on them. Also seems like a guy who has a lot of talent. Can cut promos, can go out there and do things. Was he cutting an electric promo? No, but he cut one in both languages, and that's something WWE credits him on. And that's also good for the fans in Saudi Arabia. They have someone who can speak their language. Laying all that out there. The match was good, not great. I did like his really fun, exciting finisher of the run up over the turnbuckle.
That was awesome.
Like a sliced bread number 2 into a DDT. I've never seen that before. He did hit a unclean moonsault, knees to the chest. Ouch. On Dolph Ziggler. I did enjoy that Bobby Roode tried to get some FaceTime and he got ejected from the ring. Good night for Mansoor. Good night for the fans. A feel-good moment, but not nearly as exciting as the other Mansoor matches we've seen in Saudi Arabia before.
Right. But that sliced bread into a DDT was sweet. Ziggler should have moved a little closer. Maybe that's on Ziggy. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But it was fine for what it was. It was serviceable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Other people like Mecca and Davis saying, no, Selena. So sad. So sad.
I'm always sad when I don't see Selena, bud.
Yeah, people bring out Mecca and Davis also saying if you have this Saudi Arabian babyface, you need to have a Saudi Arabian heel. So maybe they need a heel. They need to have like a whole battle for the region. The kingdom needs to be fought for.
There should be a heel.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that.
Also on the show, another women's match. This is the second women's match that the WWE has presented in Saudi Arabia. It was very noteworthy the last time they were there. Probably the best moment out of their last big show at Crown Jewel was Natalya taking on Lacey Evans, the first ever WWE women's match there. This one, the second one. Now, obviously, there is precautions, different things that WWE has to do to present this match. And we got to see Bayley versus Naomi for the SmackDown Women's Championship. They had to wear T-shirts, and they had to wear full-body garb. And this is something they have to do to adapt to everything. And the T-shirts played into the finish. I thought that was
cool.
Tell me about how that came off.
So Bayley does the rose plant for her finisher, and she got into it by tying up Naomi's legs, or feet rather, in kind of like an STF position, and using the shirt to really hold it there, and then planting her down. This match was fine. The people were into it, so how can you complain? I liked it. I thought the shirts were very basic, like they were just made in 5 seconds, but probably made in a last-minute decision. I don't think Naomi is going to be WrestleMania challenger anymore.
It's interesting because she's been getting great reactions on Friday Night SmackDown and had a round of wins that felt more compelling than other people that were contenders for the title recently or have contended for the Raw Women's title or the SmackDown Women's title. So I was odd with that choice, but you know what? I don't deny it going into it because it was a clever finish. Because the finish was clever and it was a heel doing heel things to win a match, right? If you can do a clever heel thing, it makes me like, oh, Bayley, with your Karen haircut, with your I want to complain to the manager haircut. I don't like it. If you can get me there, you got me. So I didn't mind that. I thought it was fine. Like I said, there wasn't anything on the show that went past good, fine to wow, what an outrageous match. Besides that tag team match, I know we kind of already covered the finish. I thought they did some really fantastic things in it. New Day reminded you why they're a great tag team. I thought Kofi's trust fall out of the ring, no one catching, was brutal.
My God.
That he even got back in the ring after that. And once that happened, I was like, there's no way they're getting out of this match with the titles. I thought it was smart to go with Miz and Morrison. Heel champions going into WrestleMania. The payoff pays off at WrestleMania. And a lot of heels get their comeuppance in the spring in WWE. So a lot of this makes sense. If this show services a lot of fun outcomes at WrestleMania or even Elimination Chamber, I'm okay with it. So I thought this show was like a fast lane. I thought it set up a lot of different things in terms of what WWE wants to do on television. And also, we got to talk about this cage match. This was a match with another dragged out sense of, haven't we finished this already? With Roman Reigns and Baron Corbin. Now, they've had a very long, drawn-out feud that saw them pour dog food on each other, that saw the influence of the Usos return, that saw Corbin have his own goons in Ziggler and Bobby Roode, but it ends in a cage in Saudi Arabia. Corbin trying to steal keys from another man's pocket. What a dirty heel maneuver. Only for Roman Reigns to vanquish him. Fine match. Once again, another the adjective I'm overusing quite a bit on this show. But I thought this didn't compare to their match at Royal Rumble. That was something special. I absolutely loved the Royal Rumble match they had.
I thought the Rumble match was great. This match was fine. I thought it was interesting that Roman Reigns won with the Superman punch and not the spear. Yes, there was the added element of the chain around the fist, but it's still shocking. The This is great. Roman Reigns is either going to fight Goldberg or John Cena, and those are two matches that I can get behind.
Before we get into that, overall thoughts, what are your big takeaways from Super Showdown? What's the match to watch? For me, the match to watch is Miz and Morrison versus New Day for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. I think that's the best match in the show.
Honestly, controversial hot take here. This is a match that you can probably see everything you need to see on YouTube. You don't need to watch these matches. Yes, Miz and Morrison.
I'm just saying, what if you already got the WWE Network?
If you have the network and you're so like, if you're just like, I need to see some full match, I would agree with you and say Miz and Morrison against the New Day. But this is a match where its biggest moments can be seen in clips.
So now we can get into this. Okay, we give a solid. For me, my thumb lays squarely in the middle on this show because I feel it laid out a lot of fun things. I thought it had.
Yeah, mine is in the middle of just kind of going down. Yeah.
But the only reason I really liked the show is because I thought it just shook up a lot of different things. It shook up SmackDown in a big, big way, and I think SmackDown needs a big shakeup going into WrestleMania season because SmackDown will be the biggest selling point for WrestleMania this year. So let's get into how this affects WrestleMania. We have a new Universal Champion. Goldberg is your Universal Champion, and he has changed everything in the top bracket of this year's WrestleMania. We've been talking about this for the better part of a week and a half now, that this kind of threw out the game plan that we thought we were going to get at WrestleMania. This takes Roman Reigns out of the title picture, or maybe it puts him back into it in a completely different circumstance. How do you see things break down with SmackDown? Because tomorrow they're in Boston. They have that long flight today directly to Boston. We have a new champion. They said Goldberg's going to be there, and John Cena is going to be there too.
I would rather see Goldberg versus Cena if we're gonna play that whole let's make money game. I just feel like Goldberg and Cena is more money because it was never supposed to be a thing. But I'm also of the opinion after today that I just don't care about Wyatt right now. So I don't want to see him against either Reigns or John.
Nesha Kirk saying Goldberg versus Roman for the title. Something makes me think they go in that direction.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's what it'll be too.
I think this is Goldberg really giving the goods to the big dog. I see something with Cena in some type of big match situation. Is John Cena versus The Fiend appealing to you?
Not without the belt.
Not without the belt. You think he needs a belt? He needs to go for the record, right?
If he needs the record, I think Roman can maybe be appealing. I can see The Fiend screwing Roman out of the chamber if they're going to be in one.
Nav Deep throws this scenario into us. Thank you, Nav, for texting with this one. Goldberg versus Cena equals ratings. I'll say this. It would. It is a big marquee match, but I do think it has challenges. We saw it. I don't know if we saw it in the ring tonight so much with Goldberg, but he's a guy you can't give deep water to. His best matches are under 10 minutes. And I think when you do a WrestleMania match, there's more expectations. When you have John Cena in his first big singles match in how many years now at WrestleMania, there's expectations. And if you're going to advertise that, you better put your working boots on. I'm not saying that Goldberg doesn't, but I think there'd have to be some adaptability and some changes.
Yeah, there will be some adaptability. Here's the thing. I don't think Roman needs to go 20. I don't think John needs to go 20. If you're going in there with Goldberg, you can play with the guy's strengths. I'm just so like at this point, like, can we do a three-way? Can they have a triple threat? That would be so dope. A triple threat match between Cena, Reigns, and Goldberg.
3 generations, 1 ring.
That's 3 generations, 1 ring. That is
3 generations, dude. I think we got something here. 3 generations, 1 ring, 1 title. Like, I think that's a better scenario. That is a scenario I could get behind. Other people just saying give me Goldberg versus Reigns. And, a lot of different takes here. But people are with you on this one. Richard Weaver saying he would love to see that triple threat. He'd be down for that one as well. So a lot of different things here going into WrestleMania. We will get it looks like right now at WrestleMania, we're going to get these matches for sure currently. Edge versus Orton. All right. Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte for the NXT Women's Championship. Drew McIntyre, not really featured on Super Showdown today, surprisingly. Taking on Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship. Those are some pretty strong matches up top. We have Goldberg with the title and a whole different scenarios that we just laid out there as well. We'll get the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. A women's Battle Royal as well is expected. Daniel Bryan is expected to be featured in some type of singles match that hasn't been settled on. And there's expected to be currently 14 matches overall. And that is being what's reported from the Wrestling Observer newsletter. Possibly 6 matches featuring female superstars.
Yeah, I don't think we get that far, but we might get 5.
Yeah, we could get 5.
Because we already have the 3 title matches. Those are guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about tag team title match and the Battle Royal, you have 5 right there. That's not a bad way to go.
Mm-hmm. And other people already looking past Mania. I'm not looking past Mania right now. I think Mania is where they're trying to pay off some big things here. So, and other people feeling that 3-way idea that you put out there. I think I'd be with that. That was a rumor. Other sites say triple threat. No, here's the thing. We can say we have pretty good sources close to the situation right now. Styles versus Undertaker is a lock. That's happening. They set that up today. It's happening. Edge versus Orton is a lock. That's happening. These are big matches. I think if you're a hardcore fan who's been watching a long, long time and your complaint is they're not using new guys, you can't say they're not using characters that people really care about.
Yeah, they are, because like we have Goldberg and people do care about Goldberg. Mm-hmm. And as far as it being a rumor that there's going to be a triple threat, we just said that on the fly. Yeah, we're not giving any credence to that at all.
We're being purely speculative. And when we say report or we can go with this as a story, that's kind of when we're saying, hey, we become aware of something. We have feet on the ground. We have people talking to us about it. Other things that we're following here at WrestleZone.com. A lot of big news about what's going to happen with this guy, Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy, who has been featured on WWE television on Monday at Raw in kind of a supporting role to continue the storyline with Randy Orton. Randy, why did you beat up Edge? Me and Edge were former friends, then rivals, and I've always respected him even though we've gone to war. Why did you do that? Only to destroy me as well 2 weeks in a row and smash my head with a chair on some steps. Now, the real life drama behind this is that Matt Hardy has made it clear through his own web series, his own social media, that he is bound to have his contract with WWE expire sometime in early March. He's teased his returning his Woken Broken character and has teased possibly going to All Elite Wrestling and referencing their Dark Order faction and the unnamed Exalted One that has been referenced on television for quite some time. So a lot of drama and speculation with Matt Hardy, but WrestleTalk.com in the UK reporting recently in the last 24 hours that some rumblings have been made to keep Matt Hardy in the WWE with a very intriguing offer. And what would you say if you were Matt Hardy, Robert, and I'm WWE, and I go to you, and you're in this position as a very advantageous guy in the late stages of his career, by the way. You know, he's had some injuries, but he's adapted and become a guy that people really care about his characters as promos, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if you're Matt Hardy, and I'm WWE, and I pitch to you, hey, All Elite Wrestling, they want you. But we want you to stay in WWE, and we want to give you more of that creative influence, maybe more of that fresh stage to work on and really do something that affects the future of wrestling, right? Because that's something Hardy wants to do. He wants to do something fresh, wants to do something creative, correct? And that's what he was doing with Woken and Broken, right?
Right.
What if they offer you NXT? Because that seems to be the deal. There's a potential that he could be offered some type of NXT deal. Now, this is a report. No sources with WWE have confirmed this. Wrestle Talk is the main source has been running with this recently. They also back it up with PWA Insider. So I would say, and if I got that wrong, by the way, I'm just following my most recent notes that I have here in front of me. You can fire off me on Twitter, all that good stuff.
Yeah, fire off on Kevin.
Fire off on Kevin. What do you think of Hardy in NXT?
Not happening. But I think if I'm Triple H and God, I wish I was. I want Matt Hardy in NXT. I want Matt Hardy on SmackDown. I want Matt Hardy in the family. I want Matt Hardy. Don't go anywhere. Don't take your creative abilities to Cody Rhodes and Tony Khan. Stay here. You have a family here. So yeah, I'd offer him NXT. But I think Matt Hardy is ready to go and be broken and be a focal point somewhere else. I think Matt Hardy from 2015 onward with TNA, Ring of Honor, and all that got the taste of being a focal point in wrestling. And I think that he made peace with his WWE self. I think he wants to go be a focal point somewhere else.
It's interesting. But you don't think there's an upside to him in NXT?
There's an upside to anybody in NXT, but I think for him, there's probably more of an upside in AEW.
Well, I want to make sure I make this clear. PWI Insider broke that story, by the way, too. The first time I saw it was on.
Yeah, because WrestleTalk wouldn't have broken that. But I like the idea of him doing that, but I just don't. I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, he's putting some fuel on the fire, and obviously Hardy has been playing people like a fiddle all along. Last night during AEW Dynamite and WWE NXT, what did he do? He said, just got home, about to watch WWE NXT and AEW Dynamite. He did it in the middle of the show, by the way, too, around the middle of the show. And he asked fans, what's going on? Because he knows the way he's playing this thing. He put out a tweet recently, yesterday, just about 2 days ago, saying, with a hand of days remaining, nothing is yet written in stone. Every major player is currently on the board. Everyone's at the table. I must reprocure. I must be resurrected. I must seek out my Arcadia. What's next? Hashtag free the delete, freethedelete.com. And he has himself in front of a board, which was kind of funny. With the next being spelled capital N, capital XT.
Right.
So he's
just playing with people.
Oh, no, he's definitely playing with this in every direction he could think of. But I enjoy reading Matt Hardy tweets. Those are fun. That's a fun way to speak. What if I did that the whole show? What if I read this text in here on screen? Matt Hardy is done.
I would ask you what B movie you're trying out for.
What are you talking about? Matt Hardy is milking it, isn't it? I'm done. I've annoyed you. I can tell. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
No, I love you. I've disappointed you. I'm sorry, Robert. Robert, I'm sorry. I just tried.
You're not disappointing me, Kevin.
Other stuff we are following here at WrestleZone.com. The AEW Dynamite NXT viewership has come out. How do you think it went in here, Robert? We just got off a hot night for both shows. NXT spent a lot of things setting up stuff. And what do you think happened here?
I believe NXT has dropped.
Mm-hmm.
NXT has gone down.
This is coming directly from Showbuzz Daily. All Elite Wrestling is once again on top, despite NXT featuring Charlotte Flair in action. Both shows, though, have some issues. Here. AEW Dynamite drew 865,000 viewers overall. This is down from 893,000. Not too bad of a dip there. But it does push them near the bottom end of the top 10 on cable. A lot of news yesterday with the Democratic debate and different things on news. So that I could see that being a competition just in television overall. Showbuzz reporting as well that NXT was down this week with 717,000 viewers. And they came in number 17 overall with a 0.23 in the 18 to 49 demographic. But pretty competitive near AEW's demographic number of 0.30. Worth noting that last week's SmackDown performed incredibly high on network television with demographic numbers. So not all the ratings are bad for WWE in terms of TV. And also, when we talk about ratings, guys, what do we tell them about the ratings, Robert?
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Also, these are subjective night-to-night numbers. I wouldn't describe them as completely encapsulating how the shows do week to week, or how to feel about that. So, how do you feel about AEW Revolution going into this Saturday? I will be there live. I'm excited for it live.
I feel great. I think it's going to be a great show.
Mm-hmm. What match is selling you the most on this? For me, it's the payoff of MJF and Cody.
Same for me.
I think so too. Even though they bloodied Chris Jericho, he got a nasty cut, by the way. He got really busted up at the end of this week's AEW Dynamite. I do have this sense that he doesn't lose the title to Jon Moxley.
I can't think of anybody better to beat Jericho, but I also still think it's a little early for Jericho to lose.
I think it is too early for him to lose here. A couple comments here flying in from the faithfuls that watch the show all the time. Thank you so much. Appreciate it here. James Espanto. Robert?
James Espanto Fernando Tagajo.
I wanted to cut it off and just throw the hot potato to you. James is one of our best viewers with us all the time. He says, "Big Kev." Actually sounded like Vincent Price with that Matt Hardy impression. I appreciate. By what do you mean? This one, Big Benjamin Jones over in the UK. Kevin, CM Punk at WrestleMania? Question mark. Well, we'll talk about WrestleMania shakeups. In my November interview with Seth Rollins, that is the guy he called out. I still think there's time to do something extra big on WrestleMania, but me thinks currently that it doesn't involve one CM Punk, but I don't mind being wrong. Robert, you don't see Mr. Punker showing up at WrestleMania, do you?
It's not that I don't. I mean, this 2020 is weird. Goldberg is champion. Edge is cleared. I don't know. I think anything is possible. If CM Punk wants to do it, Mania is the best place to do it. But do you come back for just an average match with Seth Rollins? Not saying the match will be average, but it's not great.
Okay. All right. So a lot of things to look forward to, and we'll have it all covered for you at WrestleZone.com. Thank you so much for supporting the show. We will return on Monday with another edition of the show. Don't forget to like this video if you're watching it on Facebook or YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast at WrestleZone Radio on your podcast app of choice, and so much more. Thanks for supporting the show. Pass it on to your wrestling buddies if you could. Robert, tell them what they got to do.
Enjoy wrestling.